नहीं अगर गिर गया तो ज़्यादा परेशानी होगा वो उसके
Okay, so today we're on verse 9, second chapter, verse 9. Second chapter, verse number 39. Ese te dikita sanki Udi yoke trimanshi Udya yukto yaya parta Karma bandham prahasyasi Esa all this say Sankhya in analytical study Buddhi intelligence Yogi in work without fruitive results. Two, but Imam, it's Shrina, just here. Buddhya, my intelligence. Yukta, dovetail. Yaya, by which. Artha, Usanapita. Karma bandham, bondage of Sahasyasi, you can be released from. Translation. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. Listen. When you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Let's repeat this. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain in terms of working without fruitive results. When you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Okay, so who wants to read?
According to the Nirukti or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in itself, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought by not killing his relatives and enemies, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Both based the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering, happiness continuously rising kinsmen alike are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, sacrifice of wisdom and truth. Krishna therefore wanted to
It says, even at the sacrifice of wisdom and duty. What is that?
like he wanted to really sacrifice.
Yeah, so it's, so when you make decisions based on based, so most probably sacrifice wisdom and duty. That means, I'll give you practically. A mother is arrested and put in jail because she ended up in her car and then he went into a bar. Police come, then he arrests her. You know, it's a crime now. You lock your kids in the car and go away, especially on hot days. But sometimes the kids die in the car due to the heat and lack of oxygen. But so here it says, happiness, even at the basis of personal sense gratification, even at the sacrifice of wisdom and duty. So the duty of the children. And wisdom means that one should never in jeopardy. But because this mother made a decision to go dancing in the bar and drinking, she sacrificed her wisdom and duty. So, make decisions based on personal sense gratification. We forget what our real duty is in life. And the wisdom is we shouldn't do anything that takes us away from Krishna consciousness. What are the 6 points of logic? Okay, that's not one of them.
Accept everything.
Accept everything that is related to Krishna consciousness.
Favorable.
Favorable. Reject everything that is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness.
Always
That's
think
not
of
number
Krishna.
3.
Never forget Krishna.
Always remember Krishna.
Never forget Krishna on the triangle thing.
No. Always remember Krishna and
Never.
Never forget.
right. And what's the triangle thing?
Like,
Is it
Guru.
Guru, Sadhu,
Shastra.
Shastra.
well, it's actually triangle is previous acharyas and the present guru. Right? You say Hari, you can say Bhagavad Gita, acharyas and present guru. Right?
And when in doubt, ask Shiksha or Diksha.
That's number 5. Number 6 is okay. You can say that, yeah. So when you say Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, yes, that's correct. Good, yeah. Shastra means Krishna's words, and Sadhu means previous acharyas. Okay. In other words, to close the triangle, they have to all. If one of them, if the guru says something different than the previous 2 acharyas, then you can't close the triangle. Then you know it's not, the guru's telling you it's not a bona fide. Krishna therefore wanted to.
Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he was soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because all of us are souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different ways. Actually, we keep individually, even after liberation from the bondage of material goods. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Vishnu. And this descriptive and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as some of the Nirvana dictionary. This Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila.
So who's the atheist? Well, Kapila Deva, the son of Devahuti, is not an atheist, he's an incarnation of Krishna. But in modern times, an impersonator who named himself Kapila gave explanation of Sankhya Yoga that was originally explained by Devahuti Kapila, and Kapila Deva, the incarnation of his parents. His parents were his father is Kashyapa. Devahuti's husband is Kardamuni and Devahuti. So, and this complicates life because someone whose name is Kapila writes a book called Sankhya Philosophy, and then all the scholars accept that as the real explanation of Sankhya philosophy, and that false Sankhya is taught in all the universities.
No.
Yeah. Therefore, when you read, Sankhya explained by the false Kapila Muni, it's confusing. You can't figure out what it's talking about. And all the universities explain Sankhya with the false Kapila Muni's explanation. The real Kapila Muni, his parents are Kardama Muni and Devahuti, explains Sankhya Yoga in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why he says, the Sankhya philosophy explained also Krishna himself. The Sankhya means an analytical study of something. So he analytically studied the nature and the difference between the body and the soul. So far, from the point where Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, he begins to explain to Arjuna the difference between the soul and the body. And that's why it says, this Sankhya, which is explained here, Sankhya means describing something in detail. And it refers to the philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul, as opposed to the body. And yoga involves controlling the senses. So, this is completely different than the Sankhya Yoga explained by the atheist Kapila. Now, the atheist Kapila, when he explains Sankhya Yoga, he says that there is a Purusha, but the Purusha, even if he is the creator, then the laws of material nature take over, and he remains outside of the whole. Let's say he remains inactive. So this is an atheistic philosopher. But he explains it like that. And then if you read the Sankhya Yoga, you become an Kapila. You also become an atheist because God is not given any importance. Even if he's the creator, if he creates, then he's out of the picture after that. And you can ignore him. So, before the impostor Kapila Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy is expounded in Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother Devahuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha, and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. So you see, it says the Purusha is active, whereas the false Kapila says the Purusha is inactive. The creator of God is inactive. Even if he creates, but as soon as the creation is done, then the laws of material nature take over. They're gone. So it says, long before the impostor Kapila Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha, or the Supreme, that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti, or nature, and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification, and under the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation. It wants to become one with the Lord. In other words, the Mayavadi merging into the Brahman is the ultimate sense gratification. It's not actually spiritual. Ultimate sense gratification. This is this last snare of Maya, or sense gratificatory illusion. And it is only after many, many births of such sense gratificatory activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling search after the ultimate, attaining Brahman and falling down, attaining Brahman and falling down, attaining Brahman and falling down. Finally they realize, man, but this attaining Brahman is nonsense. So now go ahead. Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as a spiritual.
Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering his Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, the practice of devotional service of the Lord.
For our own sake is material life, and then acting only for the sense gratification of Krishna, that is spiritual. So sense gratification is there in both, but in one, it's material life, and the other, it's spiritual life. Now, the Mayavadis say God doesn't have senses, so therefore, they can never be liberated. Everything they do is ultimately for their own sense gratification. They're still materialists. The difference between a materialist and a spiritualist, real spiritualist, the materialist does everything for their occupation, and the spiritualist acts only for the sense gratification of Krishna. Now, does Krishna have senses? What are the senses?
Hearing, sight, smelling, touching.
the sense of pencil.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you look at the deity. The deity has ears, nose, eyes, tongue, skin. Therefore, but the mind body says it doesn't have ears, doesn't have eyes, doesn't have tongue. If you didn't have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, would you be able to do anything?
No.
No. You wouldn't be able to do anything. You wouldn't be able to hear, you wouldn't be able to see. So you see, the Maya bodies are considered the greatest offenders of Krishna. The greatest apparatus. But they're saying things that are so insulting. God doesn't have a form, doesn't have eyes. Blind, doesn't have ears, that means he's deaf. That means he's dumb. You know, when a person doesn't have a tongue, they're dumb. It doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means right? And doesn't have skin, you can't feel anything. So, therefore, Mayavadi philosophers are actually the most Krishna, the greatest apparatus. Okay, good.
This Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not
Okay,
take
you know what that verse is? It's some stuff to you. Down to you. Let's take a look. 10th chapter. 10. Yeah. It says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Buddhi Yoga means action in Krishna consciousness, highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence. Mystic or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to God, and takes fully into Krishna consciousness and devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. Process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. Goal is Krishna. When the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. In other words, if you fix the goal of your life at an early age, I said, how old are you? He said, if you fix the goal of your life to go back to God, be with Krishna. Now you're not going to do it overnight, but you're going to organize the rest of your life in order to achieve that goal. And then eventually you will achieve it. But if you go to these public schools, they teach you the goal of life is to make a lot of money. And the reason for that is sponsorship. That's what the kids are taught. That's the purpose behind the science, philosophy, mathematics, history, social studies, and PE. That's what that idea is pervasive through all those courses. That you're going to be a success in life, and you're going to be able to make good money, nice house. So, and you'll have to, learn robotics, computers. Nothing. There's nothing about God at all. So I'm proposing, let these young kids be educated in farming and cow protection. That, you know, in America, people who produce food and milk make a lot of money. Right? So you're in Tillamook,
Yeah.
these people make a lot of, and they employ a lot of people. I was talking to my man today, he was telling about one farm that he visits. Anyway, he's a friend of mine. They have 25,000 cows in Washington State.
25,000.
But how do you think all this milk is ending up in Safeway and Costco? You know how much milk they're selling? Right? Huge amounts, right? And there are farms with 25, sometimes more cows, 25,000 or more cows.
Industrialization of cows.
What?
Industrialization of cows also.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying, you can make a good living and have a natural lifestyle. This is what our kids should go into. They shouldn't go into IT. The IT, you end up in the corporate structure, right? You know what's corporate structure? Like it's dog eats dog. It's very highly competitive, and it's not even certain because in the future, who knows what's going to happen? You can lose all your job. You can lose your jobs through artificial intelligence. So producing food and producing milk, that is a good future. And quality milk and quality food. Because everybody in IT have to eat. It's like in India, you know, they have this huge organization of, and it's all grassroots organization. They're delivering food every day in Mumbai and many cities around the country to corporate workers. Do you know about that?
The Babala.
The Babala, yeah, that's it, right? And they're all just normal people,
Yeah.
right? They're not rich or anything. But they've organized a system to feed millions of people every day. Smart, isn't it?
They take food from their house and deliver it in office.
Yeah. Very smart.
And they never mix up, I believe. They know each, the boxes which belong to whom. They never goof up. I believe the system is so organized.
Yes, very organized. It's grassroots. So what's wrong with doing things like that? Making a living on it. It's an honest thing.
We are pushed into such things from these places. Maybe sometimes it's hard to go back to a different level altogether.
No, wait a minute. It was hard to come into it.
It was already hard. We got into that like.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard to get out of it, but if you get out of it, you're in a sustainable system. The system as it is now is not sustainable. Like, you know, there's this wind, you know, so that pole falls down. All the electricity is out.
Yeah, I was telling the traffic that.
Yeah.
All the electricity is out. You know what happens if the electricity goes out? Everything gets stuck.
And even the pole over there.
See, that's eats up the whole society.
Yeah. I went to a cyclone protest and then all of a sudden the got
Yes.
That happened to me today.
Lights went out, the refrigerator goes out, the washing machine goes out, the electric stove goes out, the sometimes system goes out.
It was out the last time in 2008 or 7, I think. And there was some power, and there is how cold it gets, the carpet gets so cold. And it's so hard to make everything,
Yeah,
but it's
I
so
mean, you're
cold.
living in these houses, right? You're paralyzed. If the electricity goes out, you're paralyzed. So what's wrong with having these kids get trained in agriculture and dairy from a much better sustainable and physiology of just like now I'm looking at buying another farm now. So the guy that owns it, he has a dairy, and he said, look, don't go into all the automation. So now you know you can buy a robot that milks the cows. You can make 100 cows. You don't do that. You can't do service. If something goes wrong, and always something is going to go wrong, it's such an electronic and digital thing. You'll have to wait. Sometimes, 1, 2, 3 days for the technician to come. There are very few technicians that can service it. Throw your whole business off track. So don't do it. Just go back to the old animal stuff. Because all that you can repair that yourself. You don't need an outside guy. As long as you don't try and make, you don't try and have 25,000 cows, but you have smaller, unit, you'll be able to, you won't have any problems. I mean, this is a guy who's been in the dairy business like 50 years, so he's telling, he said it's not sustainable today. You get the robot, I mean, everyone's going toward the robot, then you're going to have a big trouble.
But it's because they give so much and hand making is very difficult.
No, you can get different, you can get simple rehab so you just use this simple machine, and he said you don't even need the into the pipe and into the thing. You do it, then you avoid all that technology and all that plumbing and all that electricity. Just keep it. You won't be dependent on the outside people. Otherwise, you're going to have to bring in people all the time to repair this, repair that. This thing breaks down. That just like right now in Costco, right? They're almost stopped. Lose a whole day and lose thousands and thousands of dollars. So you see, I don't see how a sustainable future to send all these kids into.
But the pressure is so high, Prabhu. When you go out, you cannot tell, okay, let's go and do farming.
Listen, when you go into the Safeway and you see all that food there, where did it come from?
I mean, I don't disagree with what I'm trying to say. For us, like what she's telling to go back and do it, even if I tell my kids to do that, they're not going to do it. For people would be shocked by, what's wrong.
No, listen. Have you ever heard the environmental movement in the United States, actually all over the world? They're pushing for this. They're pushing for breaking down all this civilization, going back to life.
But yes, actually one of my husband's colleagues, he was working at Apple. So he went back to here in Allahabad and he's got a big farm and he's raising cows. He has about 30, 40 cows and he's doing all farming and he's selling ghee and milk and his kids were also raised. They were about 6th or 7th and they too went back and what they're doing.
They kind of like
I don't know.
No, listen. You can make a very good living growing grains and vegetables and milk. Very good. And it's closer to nature. And it's a type of life where you can live like that the rest of your life. You don't have to travel here, travel there. And your family stays together. And it's a generational thing. If you do it intelligently, I mean, you don't have to make a deal with the devil. All this modern equipment and robotics and all that stuff. You don't want to go there. That means that you'll never have a farm with 25,000 cows. That's what it means. But you'll have a farm with, a few 100 cows. But that stuff. Because then the family stays together. You can have 3, 4, 5 generations of everybody working together. Which was the original way, right? But it doesn't make sense unless you're Krishna conscious, so it makes a lot of sense.
But farming also demands a lot.
And you have to prepare for it. Look, he's saying, what did Prabhupada say? The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna. And when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. And then career choice should be also whatever career is most favorable for developing Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says, growing your own food, protecting cows. Krishi Gora Shir Krishi Gora Shir Huh? Yes. So that's what was the real business. Because the one is to take care of the cows, the other is delivering the milk and so forth. So it's a whole organization. What was it? Dababala.
It means
It's like the Dababala. It's a whole organization. Not just it's growing vegetables. It's not just taking care of cows. You need the veterinarian. You need the greenhouses. You need this thing. You need that thing. So it's a whole industry with, just like there's a supply chain. You need the people who get, who do seed. You need other people who actually plant the seed. You need people who put the truck, that deliver it. And then you need the people who sell it. It's a whole supply chain. It's a whole.
But in India, also the labor for doing all this stuff has been increased so much that the cost of production is more. So that's why they are substituting with mechanical.
It's because people social type of life. They want $1 million house. Obviously, I'm not going to work in the fields. How can I pay a mortgage on $1 million house if I'm working in the fields? Right? But if each one has one person especially grinding the grain, making one person especially is veterinarian, the animals, specialty is business, banking, right? And you need banking also. So all this, it's a whole supply chain. So you can employ hundreds and thousands of people like this together. But each one has their own particular expertise in this, for the supply chain. Think about it. But the idea is that it says here, the ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. And Krishna says, on the there's Krishi is plowing, Go is cows, Raksha is protection, and Vanajan is trade. Vaishya Karma, Swabhavajana, 1844. You're on a computer all day, you get, what do you call it, carpal tunnel syndrome,
Carpal syndrome, that like you have pain in your wrist.
all the time. And then you have, pain in your neck. Then you have tinnitus, there's some ringing in the ear. And then you get constipated, you will get along. And then you're getting radiation, right? That radiation,
Eyes too.
huh?
Eyes.
Eyes, yeah. And you're getting radiation from the cell phone. You get cancer, you get brain cancer. Right. So, here we have radiation from, you get radiation from, can you get cancer from the wheat? No. You can get cancer from the... So, which one is sustainable? You see my point? But if you understand the supply chain for agriculture and cows, there are many, many different professions or specialists in that supply chain. So why should these kids be trained for that? Think about it. It's very interesting. But the training should be using the ancient techniques and the ancient technologies, not the modern. Not using all these shots on the cows. My daughter demonstrated that. So but it requires a lot of knowledge of herbology, knowledge of aromatherapy, and so forth. Alternative healing processes, and my daughter, she heals, when you put the shot into the cow, you can't use the milk for at least 5 to 6 months. But my daughter was healing the mastitis using clay and essential oil. And it works just as good as the shots, if not better. So, it's going into this let's say, and plus, when you're always chanting Hare Krishna to the cows and treating them with, they don't get sick as much. Like, I went to a farm, they have, like, cows. You can't go near those cows. If you go and try and touch the cow, they run away. They're scared.
Scared of being something given to them.
They're scared. You come to our cows, you can pet them, and when they see you, they'll come
They
to
see
you.
they are
They run to you, right? You're not afraid. So there's a whole culture. If you take this culture with a cow protection, Krishi Goraksha Vanyacham, then it's a different world. It's a new life. And it requires a lot of, let's say, high technical knowledge. Technical knowledge is in the ancient Vedic system, not the modern, shots, robots, and things like that. You're all, you use Monsanto's. You have. The rest of your life, you're stuck with those seeds. It's just like Hindu life, you have to go in 3 times a week, 4 times a week to get the blood changed. So all these, commercial things in the United States today keep sick and manage the sickness. So when you manage a sickness, the rest of your life you have to take the medicine. let's say you're an older person and you have high blood pressure. So how many pills are you taking? When I took my mother out of the nursing team, pills were different ones that she had to take. You know what I did? I threw them away. I didn't let her take any of them. But you look at older people today, you see these pharmacies, they're filling all these
Yes.
prescriptions, right? People are going in and getting, how many pills? You go to people's houses, you'll see the pill boxes. There's a whole bunch of them, right? This is for this is for that, this is for that.
My office colleague have one box. It will name as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The morning, afternoon, and each box there are different colors. I don't know what are they, but
He knows.
he knows.
It's complicated.
It's complicated, so that's why they've given organizer for putting different
Yeah, for the
tablets.
pills.
Yeah.
So I had a cousin, he was a school teacher in New York City. His name was Cousin Dick. Well, I hadn't seen him for years, but I saw him one time in New York City. And the first thing he asked me, he said, "Harry, are you taking supplements?" I was shocked when he said that. I said, "No, I'm not." "Oh, you're not taking supplements?" I said, "No, why?" He said, No, you have to take supplements. You have to take supplements. Then he took out his pill box. It was just like the way you just described. He was taking 60 pills a day. 60. And he gave me a lecture. It took me half an hour. This is vitamin A, this is vitamin E, this is B1, this is B2, this is B3, this is B6, this is B12, this is this is that. You have to take it. I said, "Why have to?" Because he said the topsoil in America is depleted and the food that you're eating does not have nutrition in it. You have to supplement. I said, "What?" I said, "Why can't you just get it from the food?" No, you can't get it from the food. Don't ask that question again. I said, "Okay, I'm sorry." You know what happened to him? 2 years later, he was dead. He was only 50 years old. He died of cancer. Now, how did he get the cancer? Yeah, taking 60 pills a day. He got poisoned by all the supplements.
So this guy what I am referring about, he is not coming to office last 4 months. He's hospitalized seriously.
Hospitalized seriously, right?
He cannot come to the office.
You see?
But you don't suggest taking multivitamin?
Yeah, no.
No, multivitamins. The greatest multivitamin is the milk that we have.
I can tolerate a milk provision, so what do I do? And I was
Then,
feeling
okay,
so
all right,
tired.
okay, I'll give you a second one. Okay? Uncle Harry's Western Washington bee pollen. That's a